Hi gents, uh, today I'm going to proudly introduce my VR project, CalmHaven. Nowadays, virtual reality is a unique tool to submerge person inside of some interesting situation required for gaining the proper skill and knowledge. Instead of reading the books and watching the video, you can do job by yourself without trapping in different dangerous situations. In real life, unfortunately, we can face quite dangerous situations, and our ability to react on this situation depends from our experience. And usually we build up our experience only by trapping in some dangerous situation. By means of this educational project, I would like to bring you this experience in advance, so you can pass this different dangerous situation in safe environment and gain this knowledge and this experience how to efficiently react on this dangerous situation. In fact, this approach gives you perfect opportunity to gain the required skills and experience in advance and this situation, these technologies give you opportunity to become more efficient, more professional seafarer who can, in case of really dangerous situation, you can react quickly and efficiently. That's my idea, which stays behind the idea of implementation of this CalmHaven project. So, enough talking. Let's dive into VR CalmHaven, and I will show you exactly how it looks from inside, how it feels from inside, how you operate everything, how you operate yourself inside of VR world, how you operate the systems of the vessels, which is emulated inside, how you operate environment, how you can do everything. In fact, the CalmHaven is a perfect world which give you opportunity to adjust everything. Adjust wind speed, wind direction, daylight, visibility, everything. Everything inside can be adjusted according to your real requirement and the real situation you want to, the real situation which you want to pass during simulation. And for a moment I have only one vessel, but in fact it's just beginning. In future it will be more and more vessels, more and more ports. I have a couple of ports I will show you, and actually that's the video which you're watching now. It's some kind of tutorial for tutorial, but it gives you understanding of all process. Enough talking. Let's dive into it, and I will show you everything. Let's go. So, gents, now we have first level. This is the main level. It looks like navigational bridge, and it's everything is like in real vessel. So we have navigational bridge, the wings, wing controllers, and we have radars. We have controller, CPP controller. We have autopilot. We have hand steering. We have selection mode. steering selection mode. We have boat raster controller. We have follow-up controller. Yeah, all push buttons, etc. And yeah, the interesting case now. Here we have some kind of menu which is available from any of level, and on this menu you can adjust visibility, you can adjust day or night view, you can adjust everything on the go. And let's take a look and see how we can adjust the main video settings. Yeah, here you can see the some menu. By the way, menu button, you can it can appear or disappear any moment. Yeah, and you can adjust your video level, video settings. This is the maximum video settings which is available, and you can see it looks much more interesting, and all the textures looks beautiful, shaders, everything. And yeah, now it looks really like a real vessel. So in fact you're working on a real vessel. By the way, the walking inside of simulator can be performed by left joystick. This on the left joystick you have this controller which you can use for walking. If you push this controller button and move, you can run. So your movement speed will be much more faster. Okay, for interaction on the right joystick you have B button. And by the way, all these settings for Oculus Quest 2 VR headset. For different models, I will adopt it, and it's for Pico controllers, for example, it's exactly the same because it looks pretty much same. But for different model, when I port the opportunity to play in different kind of controllers, I will readjust it accordingly. Okay, so what we can see here. What we can see here, yeah, we have сейчас ушел. So what we can see here, here we can see navigational bridge, and we can interact with all the controllers. Of course, for example, if I need to steer the vessel, first I need to switch on the steering pumps. Steering pumps switching off here, same as on CETA's vessels. And now you can see the rudder is turning. By the way, on the real vessel, which you can see over there, I connected all controllers to this vessel, so you can see the vessel's rudder is turning as well accordingly, exactly the same as per these controllers. And here we can see how it looks, how looks this vessel. I can turn this vessel, and for example, when you choose another type of vessel, it will appear here, and you can see how this type of vessel looks like. And yeah, that's pretty much interesting. Okay, so for a moment I have only one vessel. You can see here on the menu I can choose the vessel settings. Vessel settings, now it's active CETAS 160A vessel. Yeah, and here you can see it as well. But yeah, I'm planning to implement another vessels, another type of vessels with custom, with completely different custom settings, and so all the vessels acting same as in real life. So that's actually the main value of this emulator. So it's everything looks like and feels like same as in real life. Okay, so yeah, to be able to start, you should remember first, to be able to make steering, you should switch on the steering pumps. If you want to take control of CPP, you should take control. You should push this button, take control, and CPP controller is active. And you can see this is the order which you give to CPP controller. But the pitch is rising like in real life, not exactly not so fast, let's say. Yeah. By the way, you can interact with some assets by pushing the B button and just point in direction of this controller and push B button, and it will interact. For example, this interaction to this controller bring it in 0 position. It's quite handy sometimes. Yeah. For example, to be able to use bow thruster, yeah, you should switch it on, and later on you push button, and you can see amperage. So by amperage, you can see how bow thruster is acting. Same as in real life. So to be able to take control on the emergency steering, yeah, on follow-up rather, yeah, you should just switch it to emergency steering, and here on the autopilot I make some small display which is displaying the current active level, current active equipment which is in use. By the way, I'll stop thruster. Yeah. So, for example, now emergency steering, and I can steer the vessel by this steering. Что-то херня. Okay. Yeah. So that's how it looks. For example, if you need to take control of CPP from the central console to the wing console, first you need to bring it in 0 position and turn it off. When you come to desired control point, you should take our control. So you take control and you bring whatever you like. You push it down, and it means the vessel. You give control to CPP to stern, to move a stern. Yeah, so same as everything. By the way, you can see this vessel acting as fixed right-handed. When you give kick astern, bow goes to starboard. It's not so visible now, but yeah, it is. That's the main idea of my simulator. It simulates a lot of interesting physics of real vessels. And yeah, for example here, by the way, when you switch on the bow thruster, for example, on the center, yeah, here you can see it's active. It's active. It means you can operate it, and no necessary to activate it again. You can, but it's no necessary. You can see here it's also this push button is showing the bow thruster is ready for operations. So you can switch it on, and it's fully operational. So it's reacting. Now you can see it's reacting. Okay, so this is the main ideas of this the vessel, and main idea of the controls. Let's yeah, that was the first. It was the first part of my tutorial. So the main menu, main VR menu. So this VR menu, you can see some other different options. For example, which port you want to simulate. Yeah, so you can choose the port, and here you can see the ports available. CalmHaven, it's a completely virtual port which is existing only in my imagination. So that's the interesting place where you can train any kind of training scenarios. But in fact, I have a port which is really existing. For example, Moerdijk port in Netherlands. So, for example, I choose this Moerdijk port, and here on the video settings, on the port settings, the upper one, simulation level, it's showing Moerdijk. So it means if I come back to the previous level and push the run simulation button, it will automatically simulate all these settings. But before we start simulation, I want to show you some other interesting settings. For example, simulation settings. For simulation settings, here from this menu, you can also choose what time of the day you can use. For example, it's 1600, or for example, you want to navigate in nighttime. Okay, nighttime, yeah, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's automatically, all environment automatically self-adjusting according to this settings. Yeah, the visibility. For example, you want perfect visibility. Okay, so the visibility you can push to 0. And now it's perfect visibility. You can see everything very clear. If you want to emulate some reduced visibility, some foggy, okay, yeah, so that's how it looks. Okay, I like to make visibility a little bit less, but not perfect, a little bit foggy. Okay, the wind. For example, wind. If you want to make no wind, you have almost no wind. You can see by windmills, yeah, they still turning but very slow. If you want to make a little bit more wind, yeah, it's turning a little bit faster. And you can choose the wind direction you want to emulate. For example, 150, 138 degrees. So everything, all environment self-adjusted to this wind direction. And of course, all the forces which is acting on the vessel will be emulated accordingly. Okay, so on this simulation settings, it's clear, I hope. And yeah, in port settings, you can choose the port. On vessel settings, you can choose the vessel. In video settings, you can choose the the video settings quality which you like to emulate. For me, actually, for this computer, for this laptop, I run this simulation from laptop, and it's not so powerful, of course. That's why for me, for real levels, it's more convenient to use the medium settings. It looks not so beautiful, of course, you can see, but it's for this not so powerful computer. That's the best option, which I find out. Okay, and let's start. Let's simulate the first level. Yeah. So we have first for simulation level we have Moerdijk. Okay, let's run simulation. Hop. Okay, so in our menu now it's quite dark, so I would like to change a little bit to 6 o'clock, for example. Yeah, 7 o'clock. Okay, 7 o'clock. It gives some kind of shades, nice shades. So this is the Moerdijk port. The Moerdijk. In fact, that's the part of the port, but this is the quality which you can see. The fenders. Vessel. So let's run to the vessel. Looks like vessel ready for departure. Yeah. The Octok. You see how it's beautiful. Okay, but we have some little bit problem. How we can enter the vessel? We can ask the guys to rig gangway. Tok. Gangway is ready, and we can go. Welcome on board, Captain. Okay, so we can pick it up, and you can see how it looks. Later on, I will make, or I can, yeah, we can walk a little bit on the vessel, and just to see how it looks. Yeah, so we can go to forward. I will run a little bit because it's quite time consuming to move so fast, so far. Yeah, so I already start working with high detailed assets, so you can see the bollards now looks beautiful. And in fact, later on, all this box-shaped part will looks exactly the same. So it will looks exactly like this kind of bollards. Yeah, so yeah, you can see the partly. It's already partly done, so it looks beautiful. Yeah, I would like to show you Moerdijk port in ultra settings, video settings. So you can see it's a little bit the visual effects a little bit better. So it's so beautiful. All these assets, the bollards, everything looks really amazing. The vessel itself. And let's go to the vessel. Welcome on board, Captain. Here you can see I already start to change some box shaped it's called low poly assets like this to the high poly assets like this one. For example, the bollards, rollers looks much better. So this is the final project quality which I want to achieve on the end. And yeah, on this part of my tutorial, I can show you the vessel itself, how it looks. So let's go to the bridge. Oh, by the way, the jumping you can make on the right by the way, for jumping you can use right controller A button. MOB boat, freefall boat. It's for a moment it looks a little bit box shaped, but yeah, this is the low poly, the crane itself. It's also low poly assets. In future it will be fully operational, so you can play, you can operate the cranes, you can lower down the MOB boat, you can lower down the freefall boat. That's the idea. But okay, let's go next. C deck, funnel. You see how it looks part of the Moerdijk port. And finally, bridge deck. Bridge deck. So we can go to the bridge and I'll show you something really interesting. For interaction with any of assets, you can use B button on the right controller. So something like that. You can use controllers to interact with light. You can switch on and off light. All the lights on the bridge you can switch on and off here. Here, for example, yeah, you can see the all lights can be switched on and off. And for example, if we emulate nighttime, it will give a completely different feeling. So everything, for example, if it's dark night, you can just switch on the light and it's all controllers will be visible. So that's the interesting part. Here we have our gyro anshoots. We have wing controller, and for activation bow thruster, for example, and to use bow thruster, you can control it from here, yeah, and you can see how amp is running. We can stop it for a moment.
Yeah, to be able to make steering, of course, you need to switch on the steering pump, as I mentioned before. Yeah, so like in real vessel, you switch on the steering pumps, and it's ready. It's ready for action. Now, when you interact with a rudder controller, yeah, the rudder controller is acting. The rudder is reacting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, here we can make a, movement. We can emulate some motion, and yeah, this is the uh, this is the topic of my next part of this video. Check. So the next part of the video, I would like to show you how it looks arrival to Blight. Blight is a port in United Kingdom, and it's in port settings we can choose Blight, and I put video settings on medium for performance reasons, and we can start the emulation. I'm pretty happy with time and wind, so we can run simulation. So how it looks Blight. For a moment you can see a lot of nothing because usually it's quite foggy, and I will show you how it looks the map itself. So here is the south part of the Port Blight. Here is a breakwater which we need to pass. We need to enter inside the port, make a turn to the right, and come to the south part by stern. So that's my topic. And now I will show you how usually I perform this maneuvering in real vessels. So let's do it. I'll make visibility a little bit less, just for good feeling. And let's start. So I will switch on a little bit light, just to make it more more realistic and more better feeling. So first, switch on steering pumps. Of course, I should not forget about my navigational lights. So my navigational lights is on. Maybe I can switch on some deck light. Yeah, so it looks a little bit better. No, not forward.